Hello and welcome to the second video on historical bloodlines in Crusader Kings 2 Holy Fury. Today we will be looking at the historical bloodlines found in the 1st of January 867 start date, also known as the Old Gods start date. We will begin by looking at the bloodlines that were present in the 769 start, which, spoilers, is going to be all except for the Merovingians, though with a little caveat. Either way, we will begin by looking at the final bloodline of the last video, which is the blood of Ragnar. Last time we found him in Svitjot, where his dynasty still rules. Aside from that, there are 3 brothers with land as well. Firstly, there is the King of Sjælland. This is King Sigurdur Snake in the Eye, and also 2 other brothers, the King of Suttriar in Scotland, and the King of Jorvik in England. Currently they are at war in England to conquer more land and avenge their father. But either way, they are in quite a good position, having control over 4 duchies. Next up, staying in the British Isles, we will go to Wales, where we still have the blood of Caradoc, and aside from Wales it is also found in Scotland in the petty king of Strathclyde. Last time in Wales we also had the blood of Vortigern, who is still around but not ruling any land. Right now all of these people who have this bloodline are unlanded courtiers found in other places in Wales. After Wales, let's get over to Ireland to finish the Celtic bloodlines. And of course, here we have the blood of Neil of the 9 hostages, and they are ruling over pretty much the same places they did last time. On the other side of the channel, we don't even need to click on any one, we can just look at the dynasties map mode and we'll know exactly what's going on here. Carling is all over the place, ruling over most of Catholic Europe in the form of various kingdoms. Aside from the kings, there are also a couple of lower ranking members of this bloodline ruling over duchies and counties. Continuing on with some more Christian rulers, we will go all the way over to Abyssinia. Here we no longer have a Catholic but a Miaphysite ruler in the form of King Anbasawedem of Abyssinia of the Solomonid dynasty, and of course his brother shares the bloodline as well. Solomonic blood is still around. Next we will go north to find that the Bulgarians have converted to Christianity and are now Bulgarian, which means they are in that South Slavic group which does not have horse archers. That said, they're still ruling over a significant amount of land. However, they are currently in a war against the Magyars to defend that land and try to prevent the Magyars from settling in the Bulgarian territory. Speaking of the Magyars, the blood of Attila is also found in the Kagan of Magyar, King Kagan Arpad Almos. Kagan Arpad Almos is Tengri, however he is Hungarian, which is in the Magyar group, so he does not benefit from the Bulgarian or Bulgar opinion bonus that the blood of Attila grants. Aside from the Magyars and Bulgaria, the blood is of course still found amongst the Bulgars, as one might expect. Finishing off with Christian rulers, we will go over to Georgia and Armenia. Georgia is now ruled by a Bagrationi like Armenia, and that means that the blood is now reaching its full potential in both the Georgian and the Armenian opinion bonuses being used by different rulers. Aside from the Bagrationi, we also still have in Terran the Palavuni dynasty with the blood of Karen Palav, which unfortunately is the branch of the Parthian blood that gives a bonus for Zoroastrians, which is not that great for our Armenian friends over here. And sadly, the other Parthian dynasty has died out in this region. The Mirian Khosrow-Viani blood is no longer to be found, so no Miaphysite Parthian blood anywhere. Of course, on the other side of the Caspian, we have our other Parthian friend, also of the Karen Palav blood, the satrap Vandat of the Karen satrapy, which is probably the best choice for anyone who wants to make the Zoroastrian faith great again. To their east, the Samandids also have Parthian blood, this time from Bahram Amiran, and they are the primary challenge to face for the Karen dynasty. Aside from the Parthian bloodlines, we also have the blood of Sazan still around in the Tabaristan region, though no longer as Duke tier titles. They are now just mere sheiks. Though interestingly, if we look at the living members of the bloodline, the Baduspanid dynasty has gotten themselves landed as the Wali of Kalar. They have, however, also turned Shia, so they are no longer in the Mazdan group. Of course, aside from all of these places, we also have the Khazars, no longer in Persia. We are looking back at the steppes, and we will find here the Ashina blood. Now, you might remember that this was in the Ashina clan, and we are currently looking at the Bulanids. Well, the Bulanids do simply descend from the Ashina clan. However, they are the branch that first switched to the Jewish faith. Though the Ashina clan itself does also get represented still with the blood, and they too are now Jewish, though they switched to the Jewish faith a bit later than the Bulanid branch. After all of this, we of course still have two bloodlines to go, all the way in the east. First of all, looking at us here is Pala, which of course means that we have the Pala blood still found in the king, as well as his heir. North of there we have Tibet, or rather a bunch of kingdoms and the like, as Tibet has fallen apart somewhat, but these kings do still have the bloodline of Songtsen Gampo. There is the Gyalpo of Utsang and the Gyalpo of Gugay. Interesting to note is that they switched to the Bun faith, whereas the previous ruler was of the Buddhist faith. And that's it for all of the families from the previous start dates. So, with all of those looked at, we are going to start looking at some of the new bloodlines available in the 867 start date. The first new bloodline we are going to look at is found all the way in Africa, in this little county of Daura. Here we have chiefess Magajiva, and with her begins the plot of Bayayida and Magajiva. This is a very interesting bloodline, as it is the first we see with matrilineal inheritance, which means that the mother will always pass on this bloodline to their child. Aside from that, it also enables enetic cognatic succession, which means that if you want to start a playthrough with primarily female rulers, this is an excellent place to go to. Aside from her, of course, her child has the blood as well, but she is the only playable ruler with the blood available in any start. Interestingly, her husband seems to be how shall we say it, not very sub-Saharan, if you ask me, but who knows. Anyway, let's head over to the north, and to the great Byzantine Empire. Here we have Basileus Basileios of the Byzantine Empire of the Macedon dynasty, and he has the plot of Basileios. This gives an Orthodox and a Greek opinion boost, which is great to keep this large empire stable, as it will give you opinion bonuses with most likely almost all of your vassals. Further north, over in the little Duchy of Konegarder, we have King Dyer the Stranger. He is a Norse-Germanic pagan holding land in a Russian Slavic region. However, his bloodline does give him an opinion bonus with the Slavic natives of this area, and most likely you'll want to at some point change your dynasty's culture and religion to match the region, and also to make sure that those Slavic opinion bonuses get brought to their full potential by not just having a opinion bonus from your blood, but also from simply sharing the religion. Also in Russia we have the Holmgarder Duchy, ruled by the petty king of Holmgarder, King Rurik. Now anyone who has played EU4 will know that this dynasty is one that's going to stick around, and with good reason. King Rurik always starts with a bunch of good traits and high base stats, and he has a bloodline giving him East Slavic opinion bonus, which means that all the Russians are going to enjoy having him around. So he has good stats to conquer the land, and then a good bloodline for keeping people happy. Going back to the Scandinavian origins of these families, we have our last new bloodline available in the 867 start, found in Viken, with King Harald Fairhair of the Yngling dynasty. He founded his own bloodline as well, this one giving Norse and Norwegian opinion bonuses, as King Harald Fairhair is the first king of Norway. Aside from that, he also has an attractive opinion bonus, and I guess this is just what happens when your bloodline starts with a guy named Fairhair. Of course, right now he is just a petty king, but as you can see, he is clearly the strongest king in Norway, in fact the only petty king, so he'll have an easy time conquering the rest of the de jure territory and forming that kingdom. Furthermore, if that wasn't enough, he also has to help him out a bunch of positive traits, just like our friend King Rurik. And now lastly, for our bonus bloodline that isn't there at the start, right now we as the Kagan of Magyars just have the blood of Attila. However, if we win this war against Bulgaria, which I will do quickly with some console shenanigans, we are going to get ourselves a extra bloodline. I should probably spell that correctly. Now, due to the yes men being active, they will accept our offer. And what do we have here? The blood of Almos the Brave. This gives a Hungarian opinion bonus, which means that we now have Bulgarian, Bulgar and Hungarian opinion bonuses, good for ruling both our own people as well as any Bulgarians we may have accidentally vassalized over here. Aside from that, the monthly prestige and personal combat skill bonuses from both bloodlines do stack, so that is going to raise the abilities of our dynasty quite significantly. If we look at the personal combat skill, we can see that half of our current personal combat skill just comes from those bloodlines. And finally, we of course have an ambitious opinion bonus, probably because we ourselves are ambitious. And, well, who can deny the truth of that when this little tribe over here decides to conquer the land of this large kingdom. And that wraps it up for the bloodlines that we can find in the 867 start date. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will continue this series next time by looking at the start dates in 1066. So I hope you'll enjoy that video as well. Until then, settle your tribe and try to avoid getting killed by the Carlings.